Hello, this is Chef Anna. I'm so glad to see you today. Welcome back. Today I have something very special to share with you. It's Khmer tradition food. It's been in my family for a very long time. I share that with family and friends. I share that with my kids. They all now have my recipe and they enjoy cooking every time. So this time is for me to give it to you so that you can have this joy of cooking this Khmer cuisine also. It's very simple, but if it's getting too difficult, you're welcome to inbox me so that way I can grab your attention individually. I also welcome any comments, but today especially I have a very simple but yet delicious ingredients and recipe that I would like to share with you. So in order to do that, I have to bring you into my kitchen so that we can cook together. Please do come. It's my pleasure to bring you this great recipe. First of all, we will need all these ingredients that you see here are the images of finger roots or kji or kachai. And then we will need some of these chili peppers diced up, and then the kaffir leaves. And what we normally do best is to remove the middle core of it, and then we just dice it in a way that will bring the colors and the textures when we embellish this on the top of the dish. I love chopping, dicing, mincing these ingredients. It brings back memories. What's cooking without all this work, right? And now we so bombarding with different machine, different devices will cut and dice and do all this work for substituting a manual work. The textures, I love the feeling, the touching of cutting, dicing. It just gives me this nice feeling to be able to spend time in the kitchen and cooking this, because it's a labor. It's a labor of love. It's not just cooking, it's just a labor of love. Cooking's always been part of my life. I spend hours and days in cooking during the time that I was raising my kids all by myself and with the 6 children and feeding 6 to 8 mouths per day and sometimes 3 meals per day. That's a lot. But when I have to work full times and it's difficult to be home to cook, but I was making sure that my children have home cooked meals for dinner, because we all departed in the morning. They went to school and I went to work, and some of them went to child care. So it's always been cooking at home with kids and myself. And though the man is never around my children's life, but I make sure that I fulfilling those needs for them. Having born in a multicultural, multi-ethnic family, the different type of cookings and recipes has been applied all the times in our kitchens. As I love cooking, I absorb a lot from my grandparents, my aunts, my mom, my neighbors. And because food has always been part of my fascinations and my liking and my favorite kind of thing, so I never gone past by without being in the kitchen helping other preparing food or cooking, so that way I can learn, so that way I can observe what people were cooking, so that if I like it, I'll come home, I'll try it, and I will definitely try to perfect it in the way that I like it. And I was married to a Vietnamese Cambodian descent, and for about 10-12 years or so, and while living with him, I learned some Vietnamese cuisine, and he cooked really well, so I couldn't help but observing, and he was teaching me how to cook some of the delicious Vietnamese food also. So therefore, I never stopped learning, even though I don't like the man now, but guess what? I learned his cooking style. Well, you know what? As we got older, we had gone so many learnings and experiences in the kitchens, eating out in the restaurant, visiting different country and learn of their technique, their lifestyle, their cooking style. So you know what? In combined, we should be able to produce just anything that you see on the street, in the restaurant, in the food corner, or in the venue somewhere. I mean, it got to happen. I just got back from Thailand and Cambodia. I spent 10 days in Cambodia with my family in Battambang province. And I spent a good 20 days with my uncle in Nakhon Ratchasima. So my family didn't know that because I was living in America. They think that I now attached to the silver spoon life, which is thank you, it will happen one day, that I don't have to cook and that I'll be eating hamburger, burger, cheesecake, and all those American food, But they were surprised that when I started cooking Thai food, Cambodian food, and they're watching me carefully, and they just want to scrutinize whether I can do Cambodian or Thai cooking. To their surprise, you know what? They're liking it more. They said, "Well, we didn't know you can cook because all this time you were here, you don't cook." I said, "I didn't cook because you volunteered to cook. All I did was give you guy grocery money. We went shopping, and I bought whatever you want to eat and what I want to eat, and then one of you will be in the kitchen. Well, 5, 10 of you will be in the kitchen cooking it, and I don't have to be cooking all the time. I'm here on my vacation. I want to be able to enjoy those things like food and other people to cooking for me. I appreciate that, and not very often people be cooking for me unless I am at the restaurant being served. I have to say that this trip to Cambodia, Battambang, Cambodia, and Thailand was an immense experience for me to witness the changes in the generational, where cooking style had been modified, had changed and evolved over times. 15 years ago when I visited, the food was quite different and it was a lot better. It was more organic. It was more of these authentic cooking. But now I observe is that in the kitchens they don't even apply certain ingredients or certain herbs or spices anymore. It have changed, it evolved. They use a lot of peppers and garlic, but then there's a missing in kalangas and turmerics and the ginger roots and all that. So those are the components that comprises and distinguish this kind of cooking in this sort of region. I know that the transition may come in the new generations where they have changed it. So I surprise my family when I share my cooking. Some of those food that was served is not even available in their village. They never have heard of, they never have taste of, they don't know what it is. So I have to try to explain to them what it is and let them see the finished products and taste, sample the food. And of course, they said that this is like 5-star restaurant. We don't have this thing in our town. We don't know what these things are. So to me, it made me feel good to be able to share some of the cookings that I have. In fact, it's not easy to try to get some of those food products. So availability here in America and everything imported here, but within the country it's sad because people still don't know what these things are. And that we have the best of everything imported to America and to any part of the other world. But sadly, but it's truth, it may be so available in the big cities such as Bangkok, such as other prominent city, but in the village where my uncles and family living at are still so far behind. They just down to earth with what they can find, they can gather within the village, within that zone to feed the family with. So they're not worried about all this fancy food and all the wraps, all the things that we do here in America, we are too spoiled. If you go to this country, people humble, they just down to eat whatever they can gather from the farm, gather from the wood, like wild mushrooms, wild foliages. So for us, we said, ew, what is that? But to them, that's the meal. So while I'm there, I wasn't very fond of frog, toads, or anything like that, right? So my cousin, who only can afford all these games, meats and stuff, so he hunt for frogs, and I felt bad. So one day he came with some frogs, and he wanted to make soup for me, and I literally cannot, I don't eat frog ever. Not before Cambodia, not after Cambodia. It's not my things. I just have issue with frogs. So then he didn't know, and I didn't have a gut to tell him that, hey cousin, I'm sorry, I can't eat frogs. So what I did was that he ended up cook sour soup made out of frog, and it was not skin. They cook the whole thing. They clean the guts out and everything, but still I cannot help myself but telling my cousin, oh, yeah, put up a bowl of soup for me, will you please? I'll have that later, cousin. Right now I'm in the middle of something. I'll definitely will have some of that looks so yummy. And I have to tell him something nice. I still felt so bad because I know that that's all my cousin can afford, because he didn't have a lot of money. So he would go hunt fish and frog fishings, and that's what he feed his moms and his son. And so I appreciate him. I was being nice. I tell him that I'll eat it later, but then I offered to my other cousin, and they loved it, so that worked well. So yes, well, I'm sorry. Yeah, what's the difference between eating catfish and frog, right? There's a big difference. There's a story behind it. I'll have to tell you another time. My other experience in Cambodia was a little bit different but similar. So while we're on this nice trip to visit different places, so we stopped by at the street venues, so where the grasshoppers and those scrubs served. You know what? It's not bad at all. I try a bite here and there because I don't want to be the only one who being left out and make my family uncomfortable. So I take a bite here and there, just to blend in and mingle in. I can handle that than to eat like frog soup. Bug, I have issue with them too, but I just try one bite to make my family happy. Just be part of the bug eating family. And I learned that those bugs are not, they're not organics. They're not out there hunting or fishing or gathering them. They came from the farms. People actually have raised all these bugs in the farm. So I would say it's safe to eat. I'm not sure. You let me know how you feel about these things. But for today cooking, bring back some nostalgic memories of my dad. My dad used to go net fishing for this particular fish. It's called walking catfish or mud catfish or even Claras catfish. It's well known in Southeast Asia continent, in Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam, and some other continents who consume this catfish regularly. So therefore, I'm not serving anything strange to you today, though when you see the catfish walking, that's a little intense. But you know what? Those catfish are so smart. They can do both live on land and in the water, and they are so smart. Yes, so I have a pleasure of showing you this cooking today. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, you're welcome to subscribe and click like and click the little bell so that it'll give you a little reminder that I'm coming on the next cooking show. And I thank you for tuning in today, and I appreciate you being here with me, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you again soon. And for those who are new to my channels, welcome. And I'm so glad to see you here. And please do come back. Thank you.